Scarface was not just a gangster movie, it was one of the most dangerous productions Hollywood had ever seen. While Al Pacino was turning Tony Montana into a legend, the set itself was spiraling into chaos. Actors were injured, real criminals had vised the cast, and the film nearly got banned before audiences ever saw it. These are 10 weird facts about Scarface that reveal what really happened behind the cocaine, the bullets, and the power fact: when real Cuban refugees appeared in the film, the chaotic refugee camp scenes at the beginning of the film were not filled with professional actors. Director Brian De Palma used real Cuban refugees who had recently arrived in Miami during the 1980 Mariel boat lift. Many extras were not actors at all, they were men trying to rebuild their lives after escaping Cuba. Some had criminal records, others had just left prison. The tension on set was real. Arguments broke out between extras and crew members over money and treatment. The chaos audiences see in those scenes was not completely staged, reality had slipped into the movie. Fact 2: Al Pacino burned his hands during filming. The final mansion shootout became one of the most famous scenes in crime movie history, but filming it nearly ended in disaster. During one take, Al Pacino accidentally grabbed the hot bell of his empire prop weapon after firing multiple blank rounds. The metal was extremely hot. He burned his hands badly enough that production had to stop for 2 weeks. The crew used stunt doubles and clever camera tricks to continue filming other scenes. Those injuries left Pacino with permanent scars. Fact 3: the chainsaw scene almost got the movie banned. One of the most disturbing moments in the film is the motel chainsaw scene. Originally, it was far more graphic. Brian De Palma filmed explicit gore that shocked even the crew members. When the film was submitted to the ratings board, the movie almost received an X rating. That rating would have destroyed its release. De Palma carefully cut frames from the sequence. Instead of showing the violence directly, he relied on sound and imagination. The result became even more terrifying. Fact 4: the script was written during cocaine addiction. The screenplay was written by Oliver Stone. At the time, Stone was battling his own cocaine addiction. He later admitted that many of the film's intense moments came from personal experience: the paranoia, the obsession with power, the destructive spiral. All of it reflected what addiction can do to the human mind. Stone eventually traveled to Paris to finish the script while trying to detox. Fact 5: the DEA monitored the production while filming in Miami. The movie attracted attention from the real Drug Enforcement Administration. The sets looked extremely realistic. Large amounts of fake cocaine were used in scenes. Actors were filming in real neighborhoods connected to drug trafficking. Authorities became worried that real criminals might approach the production. DEA agents quietly monitored the area during filming. Hollywood was making a drug movie in the middle of an actual drug war. Fact 6: Michelle Pfeiffer almost lost the role before Scarface. Michelle Pfeiffer was not a major star. Producers originally believed she did not have the presence to play Elvira Hancock. She had to fight hard for the role. To create the fragile appearance of her character, Pfeiffer drastically reduced her food intake during filming. Her thin, exhausted look on screen was not just acting, it reflected the physical strain of portraying a character trapped in addiction. Fact 7: the cocaine was actually powdered milk. Obviously, the actors were not using real cocaine. Instead, the production used powdered milk and baby laxative. The problem was that actors had to snort the substance repeatedly during multiple takes. The powder irritated their noses and lungs. Pacino later joked that the fake cocaine was one of the most unpleasant parts of filming. The glamorous drug empire on screen was actually filled with coughing actors behind the camera. Fact 8: Steven Spielberg secretly directed a scene during the filming of the mansion shootout. Director Steven Spielberg visited the set. Brian De Palma invited him to help stage part of the sequence. Spielberg directed a small moment during the shootout when attackers rushed their case. It was never officially credited, but one of Hollywood's greatest directors briefly left his fingerprint on the movie. Fact 9: the movie was filmed mostly in California. Even though the story takes place in Miami, much of the movie was not filmed there. Protests from local Cuban American groups made it difficult for the production to shoot in the city. Many scenes were recreated in Los Angeles. The famous mansion where Tony Montana makes his final stand is actually located in Montecito, California. Hollywood simply recreated Miami using lighting, architecture, and clever camera angles. Fact 10: Scarface was originally hated by critics. When Scarface was released in TMT, critics were brutal. Many reviewers called the film vulgar, excessive, and irresponsible. Some audiences even walked out of theaters during the chainsaw scene, but something unexpected happened over time. The movie slowly transformed into a cult classic. It became deeply influential in music culture, especially in hip-hop. Lines from Tony Montana were quoted everywhere. What critics once dismissed eventually became one of the most iconic crime films ever made. Outro: Scarface was not just a movie. It was a production filled with injuries, controversy, protests, and near disaster. But sometimes the most chaotic productions create the most unforgettable films. And decades later, Tony Montana still stands as one of cinema's most dangerous legends. Because in the end, the story of Scarface proves one thing: power always comes with a price.